Hey everyone, another beautiful day for covering some Nickelback. Look at that rain outside. Okay. Alright, so we're talking about Here and Now. An album I totally forgot existed. It's funny, I keep thinking that I'm one album away from completing out the Nickelback collection, and every time I think it's one album away, I find there's another album I'm still missing. I thought The Long Road was the only album I was still missing that I distinctly remembered. I double-checked the discography after I found this one, because I went, oh yeah, that's right. Then I thought, I better check to see if there's any other ones. And apparently there's another album called No Fixed Address. I don't even remember that album coming out. But I got Feed the Machine, and I got Get Rolling after that, so, you know, well, whatever. Okay, so... there's a good reason I didn't remember this album. Didn't even remember most of the songs in this album when I listened to it for the first time. There are 3 on here I think I remembered. Maybe 4? 5. Okay, I remembered 5 off this album, which out of 11 songs, that isn't great. Now, that doesn't mean that the other ones aren't memorable. Some of them are just ballads, so I just automatically forgot them. And other ones are just kind of, you know, basic. Of all the Nickelback albums I've covered at this point, I'd have to go back and listen to Get Rolling, but I think it's either this one or Get Rolling is probably on the bottom of my list so far. For different reasons. I didn't like the direction that Get Rolling went into, a little more country dance-ish, weird. This one was just another Nickelback album of more Nickelback-like tracks. That's kind of how this album feels, you know, after Dark Horse, which this is the follow-up to Dark Horse. It really kind of felt like there was nothing new in the chamber there, I guess. You know, I'm not sure exactly how that worked with them. So let's get in the songs. Albums Up With This Means War. It's a good way to open up the album. It's got a great driving riff, everything like that. It really gets the album going, gives it some real energy. That's kind of about where it is. It's a good starter track, you know. Then it gets into Bottoms Up. I enjoy Bottoms Up. I love a good drinking tune. Bottoms Up is a great drinking tune. When We Stand Together is another one of those kind of happy, shiny people, lovey-dovey feelings kind of songs. It's a good song. I like the message behind it. Don't get me wrong. It's got a great message. It's just it's a cliche for Nickelback at this point. Midnight Queen. Stripper lyrics with really heavy music, which is funny because the next song, Gotta Get Me Some. I think they should have tried switching the lyrics around. I think they should have tried putting the lyrics for Gotta Get Me Some on Midnight Queen and put the lyrics for Midnight Queen onto Gotta Get Me Some. If I were the producer, I would have suggested giving that a try. I think it would have worked out a little better. I think it would have made Gotta Get Me Some more of a get out there kind of tune, whereas Midnight Queen would have worked better as a stripper song with the lyrics that it had. Both of them ultimately not overly memorable, especially compared to some of the other songs that they've released in the past. Lullaby. I strangely remember Lullaby, and Lullaby is one of those songs, even though I complain a lot about Nickelback's slow songs in particular, Lullaby's a really good tune. I have to admit it, I really like Lullaby. I thought it was really just kind of a pretty kind of song, fun and pretty, you know, just hits me in the tenders. Sometimes it happens. Kiss It Goodbye was alright, I guess. One of the ones I definitely, you know, kind of really forgot about. Gotta Get Me Some was one of the forgetters as well. When We Stand Together, I remembered it when I listened to the album. I'll get into that at the end. Okay, all right. Trying Not to Love You. Oh my God. Too many slow songs on this album. Way too many slow songs on this album. And by the time you get to Trying Not to Love You, I pretty much just want to punch Chad Kroeger in the face. And then you get to Holding On to Heaven. So the pain continues. And then you got Everything I Want to Do. It's like, come on. And then you finish with Don't Let It End, which... So, realistically, of all the songs on this album, I don't know who's responsible for this album, mixing and everything and putting it together and whatnot. Too much heavy stuff at the beginning, not enough heavy stuff at the end. You know, like if this was on vinyl, I think I'd probably only listen to side one. Yeah. Depending on where they cut side one at. If they cut side one at Lullaby, I'd only listen to side one. And realistically, that would be the best of it, tracks 1 through 6. 7 through 11, they're okay, but to me, they're just really bad fillers. And even Midnight Queen and Gotta Get Some, like realistically, this Bottoms Up, When We Stand Together, and Lullaby are the only songs on this album to me that are true standouts, like really good, true kind of get out there kind of songs. When it comes to songs that I actually remembered, I remembered Bottoms Up, I remembered When We Stand Together, I remembered Lullaby. And then I think I remembered Holding On to Heaven, I think, was the other one. Might have been Trying Not to Love You either. Too many ballads on this, I started mixing this shit up. Would I recommend this album? Well, I only paid $3 to replace it, so that's not a huge complaint. As long as the ballads aren't playing, Tracy actually seems to enjoy this album. She enjoys the heavier songs on this album, so that's kind of a nice change. To the point where she's like, wait, who's that? And I'm like, that's Nickelback. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, believe it or not. So it's not a bad album. It's just another Nickelback album. Like, it is right down the line, another Nickelback album. So if you're a Nickelback fan, you will like this. If you're someone who's into music and you like, you know, something different and whatnot, this one's gonna drive you nuts. Like that, this is definitely where I started turning off Nickelback, clearly, since there's albums that came out after this I didn't know about. But it's because it was Nickelback by numbers. That's what this album is. And for that reason alone, $3 for a used copy, okay. I wouldn't pay anything for a brand new copy, though. That's for sure. Anyways, folks, let me know what you think down below. That's what the comment section is for. Am I being too hard on this album? I don't know. I don't think so, but I could be being too hard. Let me know what you think. That's what the comment section's for. On your way down there, you're going to see a like button, subscribe button, bell for notifications. If you could please hit those, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to get those numbers up. A couple links for checking out down below. One of them may or may not be working. I don't know. Otherwise, folks, peace, love, take care.